time has come to start upgrading and changing my Fluval SHAKER 252 to be a marine tank. The idea behind this is to connect it to my other system over here. We've got a 450 litre sump at the bottom, and then at the top we've got around 200 litres extra water. Now, combining that with the shaker, we'll have around 900 litres of water, which is really, really nice. The reason I'm doing this is for tank and system stability, but also to make water changes a lot easier. It just means I'll need to do one water change and one set of water tests, which I like. Now, I must note that everything I'm doing in this video is completely optional. Other than changing the light to a marine light, this tank can run exactly as it is and exactly as factory standard as a marine tank. All I'm doing is just changing it slightly so that I can have it run to how I want. So the main upgrade, and really the only thing that most people are going to be needing to do, is to put a marine light onto this tank. Now thankfully Fluval have designed it so that these marine Fluval sea lights can go straight into the bracket on top of your Fluval shaker, so there's not really any modification or anything like that needed. I'm going to be adding one of these, and the right size for the Fluval shaker is the 36 to 48 inch light unit, the 46 watt one. So simply all you need to do is stick one of these on your Fluval shaker. I'll show you the fitment of the light in a second, but I'm just going to show you the comparison of the difference of colours. So this is the aqua sky that it comes with, and then this is how it looks with the Bluetooth marine light. So much bluer, much more marine spectrum. I'm actually going to run the aqua sky at the same time because I like the light the aqua skies give off, and it will help the macroalgae that I put in here. And you can see the fitting here. The brackets simply fit onto this little ledge the same way that the stock light comes with. So really easy to do, and pretty much now this tank's ready for marine fish. However, we're going to be changing things a lot from this point on. The main difficulty with connecting these two tanks together is actually a lot to do with the fact that the pipes that Fluval use aren't really a standard size pipe. And what I mean by that is you can't just use standard grey PVC piping onto this fitting or to the fittings below and just connect it all up as you would do many other standard tanks. Unfortunately, the sizes of these pipes are specific to Fluval, so I've had to find a bit of a workaround. So when I first got my old Fluval FX5, which was a long time ago, I sent away for $4.99 and I received one of their FX gravel vacuums. I never used it. It's been in storage for many years, but it's actually the perfect accessory to change this tank into a marine tank, or at least one that can go into a sump. So let me explain the exact problem. Now this would be true as well if you just fit a little sump into this cabinet. You want the water to come from the surface of the aquarium. You want it to go through a little weir and down a pipe and then drain via gravity into your sump. In the configuration it comes with, it won't do that. It will drain from the centre of the tank, which is okay, but then what happens is you end up with a layer of scum and filth on the surface. So to prevent that, what I need is this tube with the little weir on it to go all the way to the surface of the aquarium. And you can see that it does actually come with a long pipe. So I thought that was quite a good place to start, but unfortunately that doesn't work either, and I'll just show you the reasons why. So if we want to extend our pipework up to the surface, you would logically then think we put the strainer into the black tube, maybe buy another one of these. I have got a part number for this, which I'll put in the description, but unfortunately it doesn't fit in there. This is too big to go in this tube, whereas the outlet does go into that tube. So that means I can't, without some serious modification, use two of these to increase the height. The next step then would be, maybe I'll use, as I mentioned earlier, grey plastic PVC. Well, that is also very annoying. The reason being is, although that fits into there, so that's the right diameter, this size, which is 32mm, this won't fit comfortably over the fittings that are going through the glass in the tank. It just won't create a very good seal. So although this fits, this doesn't fit. And now we're in a predicament because nothing really fits together. Even if you use the size diameter of the connectors, it's now too big, and then this is too small, and then this is too small. Nothing fits together nicely. And I was having a bit of a headache to try and find out how to sort this problem out. And I was just going through my backlog of junk, because you collect a lot of junk in the fish keeping business. And that's where the Fluval FX gravel cleaner came in. So the parts that I'm using from the Fluval gravel cleaner are the tubes, the extension, the gravel cleaner sort of siphon bit, which if you turn upside down makes a really good weir. And I've also used some of the pipework in the filter, which I'll show you later. But the main point is this pipe fits perfectly onto the tank connectors. So I'll just show you now how it fits. I'm going to be changing which one is which. As standard, this is the intake and that is the outtake, but I'm switching them around because I want the intake in this back corner. And as you can see, when you slide it over, it fits really, really nicely. And I'll show you a comparison as well between the 32mm pipe. So here's 32mm. You can see it just doesn't fit very well. It doesn't go all the way over the connector. I mean, I guess you could silicone that, but it's not ideal. With the Fluval FX gravel cleaner tube, it will go all the way over all the fittings. Now there is a little bit of wobbling there, but all I'm going to do is silicone this in place. Now that will mean removing this is going to be a headache in the future if I need to remove it, but I don't think I will. And then you may have noted it doesn't quite go to the surface, and that's when we use this part here, which is the connector for the two tubes. So we'll connect them together and then we'll cut the other tube down just so that it reaches the surface. And that's going to solve all of my issues with getting this weir to take from the surface. So I've cut my pipe now. Luckily, you do get a spare bit. So if you mess it up to begin with, then you have another try essentially to get the water level right. I've cut my pipe, so the distance between this pipe and the top of the second pipe at 49 centimeters. You also get a little bit of wiggle room with this because this can fit in here pretty much. You got another inch or so to move it up and down. And I'll just show you how it looks inside the tank before I silicone it in place. So you can see it goes all the way to the surface with a connector, and then we've got our little overflow weir there. Now obviously you could change that to something you prefer, but I think it looks quite nice being this clear acrylic. And also you can see the water level line there, and once the water's in there and it's going down, the water will be around where the water max level is. So there it is, fitted in place. You can see I've used the silicone to just join it and hold it on there. It's not a bad silicone job, to be honest. There's a little bit in the tube, but in the long term this is going to be covered up by sand anyway, so you won't see that. And eventually this tube, I imagine, will either go green or coralline algae. So long term it's just going to blend in and you won't notice. You can see at the top as well that we're at the water level. Now I can adjust this later on, so it's not a major deal if I'm a little bit over or a little bit under. We can absolutely still move this up and down and adjust our water level, so not a problem. And I have a spare bit of pipe, so if it's all completely wrong I can recut. And you can also see now we have our output, which is this at the front. That leads me down to the filtration, which I've also changed. Now, one thing I would say is, if you're going to be running this with the canister filter straight from that weir to the canister and then back again, this is not going to work, because that's going to suck in air, and then that air is going to go in the filter and it's going to cause havoc. So this configuration can really only be used if you're going to be going into a sump first. So my direction of flow is down this pipe, and then you can see here I've got a tube which goes then into my sump. You can see there it's just at the surface. I may extend that in the future, but for the moment it's fine. And then if you look at the back there, we have our intake. So this pipework is also from the gravel cleaner. Handily, it fits onto all Fluval fittings, which is nice. So that sucks through, goes over the side, and it goes down into the canister. From the canister, we're then going from that pipe into our Fluval UVC and then back up to our output. Now yes, this pipe work at the moment is quite bendy. I'm going to see how it works, because you're not really supposed to have bends and kinks in your pipework, and also the canister is drawing from quite a long way away. However, I think it's going to be powerful enough to circulate the water. If not, then I'll have to upgrade the canister, but I'm going to see how it works first. The UV is also not rated for 900 litres, however it's rated I think to 400 or so, which will give us a little bit of UV support in this aquarium, and some is better than none. So it's all quite simple. Obviously, rather than using this big sump here, you could have a really small sump in the centre of that cabinet, get rid of the canister filter completely, and then you just have a straight run down from the weir into your sump, then have a return pump, not the canister, back up, maybe through UV as well, and then up, returning through there. And that's essentially how we're going to run this. Another thing you could do, I guess, is build a corner weir where you put a surround around these fittings, and then you could have a nice standard sort of marine weir. So anyway, in the next video of the Fluval Shaker, we'll be setting it up. I've got to let it all dry, and then we'll actually see if any of this works. It could be that I've completely ruined my Fluval Shaker, but we will see, won't we? If you have enjoyed this video, please remember to leave a like and also subscribe to my channel. Thank you to all my channel members and patrons. You are up on the screen now. Thanks so much. Once again, thank you for watching, and happy fish keeping.